Hari Om, good evening, a very warm welcome to all of you. Please come, let's pray together. Invoke the grace of the Almighty. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya sahana bhavatu sahano bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vedvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. O Lord, the Almighty, the Parabrahman, the Omniscient, the Omnipotent, the Omnipresent, who is also called by the divine name Dharmaha, to such a magnificent Lord, together with Shraddha, Bhakti, Prapatti, we offer our humble salutations. To seek His grace, His love, His mercy, His affection, His compassion, His forgiveness, His strength. O Lord, please enhance the divine qualities in us, which are Shraddha, Bhakti, Jnana, Vairagya, Prapatti, Mumukshattvam, only and only to realize Thyself in our very hearts, to realize our own true self as our living experience, aparoksha anubhuti, in this very life. We beseech in you that at the end of our lives, we reach Thy holy feet. Om Tat Sat. Our humble salutations to Guru Parampara. Today, by the grace of the Almighty and the blessings of the Guru Parampara, we are on our Divine Discourse number 370 on the 27th of February 2024. Shobhanakrit Nama Samvatsara, Uttarayana, Shishira Ruto, Maghamasa, Krishna Paksha, Bhaumavasare, Tritiyatito, Hasta Nakshatre, Shula Yoga, Bhadrakarane. On this auspicious day of Tuesday and the auspicious time of the evening, together we all take a firm vow, Na ham karta, Hari Preranaya, Hari Prityartha. O Lord, whatever comes to me in my life, be it through any situation, any circumstance, any incident, any happening, any occasion, be it through a person, place or object, I accept it wholeheartedly, without questioning a wee bit. I know that you have designed this divine plan of action only and only to uplift me from this ocean of births and deaths. I fully abide by your direction, accept everything with the prasada buddhi, live life with cheerfulness, calmness, peacefulness, and harmony. Our humble salutations once again to the Guru Parampara. Om Tat Sat. Good evening, everybody. A very warm welcome to all of you once again. Are you able to hear me properly? We have some issues with the internet connection. I just need some response so that I can move ahead. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mrudo. Okay, now, so today we start with the Sant Naamdev story. Now you know why this is very important. The Sant Naamdev story is, many of us have a feeling that we daily pray to God, we visit temples, and we observe Vrat, Puja, Upasana. We do all this. And you feel contented. Oh, I am on the right path. Now nothing can stop me from reaching God. Now, not to discourage, but this is only a means which is going to add some value to your spiritual path. But what is exactly important is the true knowledge of your true self. How have we been disassociated with the Lord? Because we do not know our true self. Now in this case, Bhakta Naamdev, he was literally in conversation with the Lord. Whenever he had an issue, he used to go and talk to him as we go to a friend and talk to a friend or a well-wisher. And it's not that, okay, yeah, we also talk, but is there a response from the other side? It is just a one-way communication, isn't it? But here, Lord has come many a times at his behest, at his request, and many a times, even before he could call out, he has ensured that He has taken care of his bhakta. Despite this kind of a pious union and relationship, one fine day, Vithoba, Lord Krishna himself tell, you need to have a guru. Because you are so much into devotion. Yes, devotion is required. But you also need jnana, atma jnana. Be it anybody, unless and until they get that atma jnana, you will not realize yourself. So, see, we may think, now you can understand the value of the atma jnana, what we are getting. We may think that we are not that great devotees, or we are not something like what Bhakta Naamdev is doing. So then probably there are still many more lives which we need to pass by and climb the ladder of bhakti, and then we may get atma jnana at some point. No, we don't know what your previous lives have been, or our previous lives have been. We might have done great amount of bhakti in so many lives, and that is where we have landed here, right at the threshold of atma jnana. This is what we need to pat your own back. Yes, oh Lord, whatever I have done so far in my life, whatever little nama japa I have done about you, whatever devotion I could show towards you, whatever amount of goodness I could cultivate in my life, piousness I could exhibit in my life, all that has paid, has reaped its fruits. So with this confidence, you have to now stick on this path. It should not waver. You should not fall down from it. Now, as far as you have kept your feet on the elevator, you are going up. You are going to reach where you need to reach. Only if you try to move out of it, create some stunts and you fall down, then you are gone. So be steady wherever you are. Stick firm with no stunts and keep moving forward. So with this kind of a confidence where we know what we are and we know what is God's grace on us now, and we know the importance of what we are doing, now we understand the rest of Naamdev's story. So here we had learnt in our previous class that Bhakta Naamdev, from the point of view of his worldly commitments, he was a utter failure. Where we saw how his father sent him to the market to sell some clothes, and then he was so disappointed that he came back, and the next day he comes and he says he has sold the clothes but the money is yet to come, and Dhondia is a guarantor for that. And what is Dhondia? Dhondia in Marathi means a stone, and fortunately it also means a surname in Marathi. So he thought there is some person by name Dhondia, and where he has guaranteed the money. Okay, fine. Next day he keeps the stone in the room, he locks the room, and he tells his father, no, I'm going to the temple and coming back. But he says, where is Dhondia? He says, I've locked him in the room. Now Bhakta Naamdev doesn't come. For quite some time he waits, his father waits for Naamdev. He doesn't come, so he goes and he opens the room. And he sees there is a lump of gold. His father was extremely happy. He thought that Dhondia has kept some gold and ran away from here through the window, because that window was open. So like this, every now and then, Bhakta Naamdev is seeing that Lord is protecting him at every point. Now these are not some mythological stories. These are what have just happened a few 100 years before. So in this way his life continues. His whole family is vexed with him. And then, there's one common understanding in the yesteryears, at least. Nowadays, nobody thinks on those lines. No parents thinks. Earlier, what they used to think, if a boy or a son is not responsible in life, then the common verdict used to be, get him married, he'll become responsible. This was the kind, even I have heard about that. Get him married and then you see how he'll feel responsibility in life. So going by those words, his father gets him married. Now he gets a wife, Radha Bhai. Now also we should understand how karma plays in our life. Now Radha Bhai is a woman who is completely worldly minded. Always wanted to have money, possessions, the best of the things around her. Now, of course, Naamdev was not like that. But this is how marriages have happened. So fine, Radhabai, she becomes the Bahu of the house. And then mother by now, although she was a pious lady, with the influence of Radhabai, she also gets more and more agitated. She's already agitated that her son is not doing anything. Now both of them, instead of giving more confidence to Naamdev, they were all the time cursing him. It once so happened that, over a period of 1.5 years, Naamdev was blessed with a child. And Lord Vithoba, he himself comes in the disguise of a priest and saying he is Narayana, Pandit Narayana, and then he gives so many gifts on that occasion of the child ceremony and he names the child as Narayana. Now when money comes in, people forget about all the due diligence. They say, oh, such a rich Panditji has come, a well-read Panditji. Okay, now poverty was continuing in their house because Naamdev has, by now, he has neglected worldly duties. Both Naamdev's mother and wife were abusing Lord Krishna. Now this abuse to such an extent that whenever things went extremely bad, Lord used to appear. He wanted to basically give some money to the family. So once he comes as Dharma Setti from Vaikuntapuram. From which place? Vaikuntapuram, from Andhra Pradesh I have come. Dharma Setti is my name. And my past friendship with Naamdev, we studied together over here, and whatever story he said, he gives them again some good gifts and money, clothes, all this, and then he goes away. Now for some time everybody is again cool. So this way life continued. Once it so happened that a person by name Parisha Bhagavat. Now Parisha Bhagavat, he comes to their town, and Parisha Bhagavat's wife, she becomes the friend of Radhabai, Naamdev's wife. Now once Parisha Bhagavat's wife, she gives a stone to Radhabai and he says, look, my husband, is a great Bhakta. See this stone, this can convert anything into gold. Now she is like so happy, Radhabai. She says, but you cannot do it. You go and give it to your husband and he will be able to do it. So Radhabai runs to her husband. He was sitting on the bank of the river over there. He says, see, this is a stone and there is a great Bhakta by name Parisha Bhagavat. His wife has given me this. He takes this stone and he throws it into the river. He's not interested in this. Now this news goes to Parisha Bhagavat. He is extremely angry on this. He comes to Naamdev and he says, what have you done? He says, I threw it in the river. So immediately he wanted to fetch it back. He jumps into the river. And there Parisha sees not one stone, but there are hundreds of stones of the same kind in the river. Then he was struck with wonder. He admired the spirit of renunciation because he could understand. He was a great Bhakta, of course. He could understand what are the spiritual powers and the spirit of renunciation of Bhakta Naamdev. So in this way, all these situations, for some time there's to cool down matters. Again, there's to be a situation where things could break up. So now and then, wife, mother, father, everybody wanted to bring back Naamdev into the worldly life, but he had no other interest than Lord Vithoba. He used to spend hour after hour sitting before Vithoba, talking to him, discussing various matters with him, all about God and doing bhajan. So to Naamdev, Vithoba was the beginning of the day and the end of the day. Now comes a stage where he meets Bhakta Naamdev of the same period, who was about 5 years elder to him at Pandharpur. Naamdev comes to Pandharpur and there he sees Gnanadev. Gnanadev comes to Pandharpur and there he sees Naamdev, and he naturally gets attracted to Naamdev because he understands he's a great devotee. Seeing him performing the rituals, singing bhajans, that natural affiliation towards Naamdev happens. Now, Gnanadev is on a spiritual journey, pilgrimage. So he says, he offers to Naamdev, can you come with me? I'm going to various holy places on a pilgrimage. Naamdev says, no, I don't. I'm not interested. Why? Because if I go, then I will miss Lord Vithoba here in Pandharpur. But after a lot of counseling, he somehow takes him. He says, come, let's go. Now, these are two great saints who have come together, and almost till their death they never parted from each other. And their pilgrimage extended to various parts of India, almost all the holy places. Now here I should mention about several miracles which happened by both Naamdev and Gnanadev when they were on their journey. Once, see, from Maharashtra they're moving, they cross Rajasthan, they cross Gujarat and they enter Rajasthan, and they were in the desert of Marwar. Naamdev was dying of thirst, and there they find out a well. But the water of the well was at so much of depth that it was impossible by ordinary means to extract that water. It was in some remote place. Now Gnanadev, he assumed the form of a bird by his Laghima Siddhi and brought the water up in the well. Like as you have known, Anima, which means shrink, Mahima means enlarge, Garima means you become heavy, Laghima means you become light, then Prapti is another Siddhi. What you can obtain is where you can obtain anything from anywhere, and Prakamya means you can enter into another's body, Ishitva means the power of lordliness, and Vashitva means you can bring anything under control. So these are the 8 Siddhis. With his Siddhi, he was able to go and get water from the bottom of the well. But Naamdev is no less. He proved superior to him. He prayed to Goddess Rukmini. Now, who is his best friend? Vithoba. Now, Rukmini, Vithoba's wife, he says now, he prays to Goddess Rukmini, and then they see the level of the water rose miraculously up to the surface where somebody could just put in their hands and drink water. Okay, now, it is not that this happened then and it is okay, then after that we don't know what is the state. Even today there is a place 10 miles from Bikaner known as Kaladji. You can see this well today. This is which happened during their times. In a desert, this is one of the miracles which we got to know. Another miracle. Once Naamdev and Gnanadev, they came to Naganathpuri. And there, Naamdev started singing bhajans. as he started singing, crowd just swept in. Beyond one's understanding capabilities. And the temple was completely jam-packed. Now the priests, they want to enter the temple, but they could not. It was so jam-packed and everybody is so much immersed in the bhajans that they were not able to, they did not even give way, they did not even open their eyes to see who is around them. Now this came to an extent where the priest got terribly angry. And then after the bhajan was over, then the priests entered and then they told Ramdev and Naamdev, you stop singing here. Because what is this? You people are not allowing us to do our rituals because they are concerned about their rituals. They said, if at all you want to do, go at the back of the temple and you do whatever you want, but not in the main veranda in front of the Lord. So the miracle which happened here was, they go and at the back of the temple, they are performing their bhajans, and the Lord literally turns 360 degree. This is exactly what had happened in Udupi. Kanakadas, when he was again a backward community Bhakta, they did not allow him to enter the temple. So from somewhere which is at the back of the temple, he goes there, there's a small hole there. Through that hole, he looks at the back of the Lord and is singing. And there the Lord Krishna turns. So this is the power of bhakti. So in the same way it happened here. And another miracle to mention, which these are all, they should really invoke that, our connection to the Lord is important. And wonders can happen. Now this is where it happened in Bidar, which is northern Karnataka, the northern tip of Karnataka. Now, once a Brahmin of Bidar, he invited Naamdev to sing bhajans in his house. So Naamdev was going to his house. People got to know that Naamdev is coming and he's going to sing bhajans in so-and-so's house. Now, as the news of Naamdev coming to Bidar set in, people from all corners, all the villages nearby, they're all flocking towards Bidar. Now the Sultan, the Sultan of Bidar, he mistook that there are some rebel troops which are coming into Bidar. So he sent his general by name Kasi Pant at that time. He says, go and see what is happening. So many people, thousands and thousands of people are coming. What is this agitation going on here? And then they got to know that it was nothing. It was only a religious celebration by singing the glory of the Lord. Now the Sultan was not happy with this. He ordered that Naamdev should be arrested and prosecuted. So they get him arrested and they bring him. And then they tell that, look, I give you two options. You butcher a cow right in front of me. Okay. If you don't want to do that, you embrace Islam. Otherwise, I have an elephant which is here, which is going to crush you in front of me. Naamdev's mother was there with her. She requested her son to embrace Islam and save his life. But Naamdev was prepared to die. He said, I'm not going to butcher a cow, nor I'm going to embrace Islam. Now then, the cow was killed by the king and by the Sultan. And Naamdev was extremely hurt by that. What did I do? I said I'm going to die, but that was that kind of grudge that Sultan had got against Naamdev. He butchers it over there. Naamdev goes and he hugs that cow there and it came back to life. Now Sultan and others were struck with amazement. And there Naamdev won the admiration of the Sultan and his party. And The story continues. Now here, like this, from place to place, Naamdev and Jnanadev, they go on meeting various saints. To name a few, one of them was Narsi Mehta at Junagadh, Kabir, Kamal, Mudgal Acharya at Kashi, Tulsidas at Chitrakoot, Pipaji at Ayodhya, Nanak at a place in the Deccan, Goraknath, Matsyendranath, like this. So many saints, they go on meeting. Now once, Naamdev had gained enough of popularity during his pilgrimage. And once it so happens that Jnanadev's elder brother, and Jnanadev's guru in fact, who was actually able to look at this world beyond bhakti with a wider vision of manifestation of God. So he sees Naamdev's world, it began and ended with the deity Vithoba of Pandharpur, and he could not recognize any other deity as a symbol of God. See, that was what had happened. So in this entire period of 5 years, he always saw that he had nothing else known to him other than Vithoba of Pandharpur. So then Jnanadev, based on his brother who was a guru to him, he goes and advises Naamdev, why don't you adopt a guru so that you might be in a position to realize completely the manifestation of the all-pervading God and fulfill your life mission. Now, Naamdev said no. He says, no, I am going against the loyalty and devotion of Vithoba. See how this is. And he was constantly in that devotion to Vithoba, but not agreeing or accepting to have a guru. Now here one day, he says, let me ask this question to my Vithoba only. He goes and asks Vithoba. He says, see, everybody is talking to me on these lines that I should have a guru and I should understand the manifestation of God. He says, will you recognize me in any form I come? He asks Naamdev. Naamdev says yes. Now there, Naamdev, Lord Krishna, he comes in disguise of a horse trader and he goes in front of Vithoba. Naamdev is not able to recognize Vithoba. So then he says, look, I came in front of you, you did not recognize me. Now this was one first realization of, yes, there is something higher to what I am doing now. He got that. And in another situation, it so happened that there was another saint by name Ghora, who was a potter by trade. And his job was like, as a potter, he tests pots, whether they are baked, fully baked or half baked. In the same way, when all these people were sitting, everybody tells that Ghora, who is a saint, tells, please check everybody whether they are, how far they have attained spirituality in life. So just as he tests the pots, he takes a stick and he goes on hitting everybody's head and telling them, matured, meaning fully baked, fully baked, fully baked. And when he hits Naamdev's head, he pats on his head. And in fact, Naamdev cried aloud. He said, he was hurt. But then he says, this fellow is half-baked. Everybody started to laugh. And Naamdev ran away from there. And now he understands, yes, Vithoba, what you're saying is right. Now tell me, where should I go? Now then, Lord Krishna, he understands and he tells him, you go to Vithoba Kechar. He tells the name. You go to Vithoba Kechar. He lives in so-and-so village known as Avandhya, and you learn from him the Atma Jnana. So Naamdev goes to Avandhya and he has not seen him. And as we can see nowadays, where you can see the pictures, their photos, there was nothing of that kind. He goes there and there he one of the places for rest is a temple. So he goes and enters the temple. There's a man over there whose feet are directly facing the deity. He goes and he shakes him up and he wakes him and he says, "What a man you are. Do you have any sense? You're placing your feet which is directly facing the deity. Don't you have any common sense?" Now that person who is, sleeping, he says, okay, if that is the case, then please move my legs. And then as he moves the legs, he sees that the Lord also is moving in that direction. He moves him from north, he moves him to east. From east, he moves him to south. From south, he moves him to west. Every time he moved the legs of that person, he is seeing that the deity is directly in front of his legs. This was shocking to Naamdev. Suddenly gets up. And the person gets up and he said, "You saw what happened?" Then he said, "I'm extremely sorry, I understand." He says, "I want to meet Vithoba Kechar. Please tell me, who is he? Where can I see him?" And that person says, "I am Vithoba Kechar." And then he prostrates to him. He takes his blessings and then eventually he gains that Atma Vidya. So here, what is important is realizing that God is all pervading. There are no two things. Ekam Advitiya Brahma. There is only one and one thing which has manifested in various forms. Now this is as simple to listen to, it is that difficult to gulp it down. So Naamdev had mastered what has been told by Vithoba Kechar. And you can see now how the transformation happens. Once it so happened that he was eating bhakri, roti, and he was at the same time doing bhajan. Somewhere a dog came in and it took that roti and it ran away. Now Naamdev ran behind the dog. Normally this dog has taken a roti and gone, no? So anybody would run with a stick behind the dog. But he was running with a cup of ghee and he's telling the dog, "Oh Lord of the world, why do you want to eat dry bread? I'll apply some ghee and give you. It will taste much better." This was Naamdev's realization of Atma. It was complete and overflowing. So in this way, Naamdev, he had realized that it is Lord and Lord alone in every form, and he eventually attained Samadhi at Alandi. So this is the story of Bhakta Naamdev. So understand the importance of the bhakti and jnana. That is what we need to see over here. Although each one of us are doing our bhakti to whatever extent we are doing, but do not forget to understand what the Lord has said about. That is the only way. Here we have spoken about self-realization is unless and until you know your true self, you will not be able to reach me. And then what happens to the bhaktas? He says, when the right time comes, I make way for a bhakta to get this knowledge. That is my responsibility. And this is what exactly we saw over here. So this is the whole story of Bhakta Naamdev. And now let's come to shloka 27 and 28. And then we'll also do 29 if we can complete today. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Sparshan kritva bahirbahyansh Chakshur chaivantare bhruvoh Pranapano samau kritva Nasabhyantara charino Yatendriyamano buddhir Munir moksha parayanaha Vigate chabaya krodo Yasada mukta eva saha. Yeah. Okay. So here, now we should understand 27, 28, 29th is the last verse of this particular chapter. Now here, Lord Krishna is not only concluding this chapter, but he is also preparing us for the next chapter. Now what is the next chapter about? Dhyana Yoga. Now in the entire 5 chapters, he has spoken about the Atma and the Anatma. So now he is trying to say how one has to move from the Anatma into Atma. What is the result of being in Anatma? The result of being in Anatma is you will get another life based on your good and bad deeds. If you have done good, you will get merits for that, punya, which will give you further good things to experience in life. Now here it doesn't mean happiness or peace, contentment. No, you will get luxury in life. And of course, with material prospects, you get that luxury. If you have done bad, then you get pain, suffering, that way. So now there is a fine combination when we talk of punya. So money used in the right way gives you happiness. So now again we need to know how to use money also, or wealth, success, whatever you get. So all that is explained in Anatma portion. Now what happens if you get established in Atma? You become one with God. You get moksha, you get self-realization. Okay. So a person who starts gaining Atma Vidya, he slowly now he has to come out of that Anatma Bhava, which he has been in this for not 1 or 100 or 1,000 lives, but millions of lives. We don't know how many lives. So to change his entire perspective in life about knowledge, what he has to do? He has to establish himself in this Atma Jnana. For that he needs a high level of focus. For example, we are told to write something. Imagine if our hand is shaking. What happens? Whatever you write, that script will not be legible. You need firm fingers. Let's say you want to paint something, and if your hand is shaking, can you paint? So if you want to shoot something, you need steady hands, steady fingers. So in the same way, for establishing in this knowledge, which is the final stage, what we call as nididhyasana, one has to have a stable mind. So now how to have that stable mind? That is what is being told over here, which forms a preface to the next chapter. Sparshan kritva bahir bahyan. Many say, I used to listen to, while we were studying, These students used to say, Swamiji, I sit for meditation, but I don't know, the moment I sit for meditation, my mind starts wandering even much more than before sitting for meditation. And many other visitors also used to come. This was a very common question to the teacher. So now, sparshan kritva bahir bahyan, if I have to go inward, I have to leave the outside things outside. Understand, this is one of the fundamental aspects to effective meditation. If I have to go inward, meditation means what? You have to go inward, right? It's not looking around somewhere and doing meditation. You are closing your eyes, you're withdrawing your senses, and you're going deep within yourself to realize the true self. So if I have to go inwards, I have to leave all the outside things outside. Now, how do I understand this? Let's take an example. Let's say you have gone for work and you come back, you are coming on a motorcycle. What do? You park your motorcycle at the gate. There is a specific place to park your bike. You go there, you park your bike. And meantime, your wife, she opens the door, the house main door she opens, and then as she opens, what do? You're not going to take the bike inside the house. There is a place for the bike in the compound. You're going to park the bike in that particular place. Then, after you park the bike in its parking place, then you walk towards the house. You leave your shoes at the entrance of the house in the shoe rack. Then, do I say, now that I've left my bike at a particular place, why don't I leave my shoes also there? So it will be convenient whenever I want to go to the next time I can put them on. No. Bike is at a particular place. Your shoes or chappals are at a particular place. Now, you are leaving everything at its designated place. Now you come inside the house. You're walking up to your bedroom. There you remove your shirt, your trousers. Now it's a hot summer and you're perspiring, you're feeling tired, you want to freshen up. So you keep your bag on the table and you remove your shirt, your trousers, wherever you put it on the hanger, and then you further go inside into the bathroom. Now after you enter the bathroom, you remove your inner clothes. Now you want to take a shower, isn't it? So you remove your inner clothes. Why? Because you want to cleanse your body. Now, when I have come to a state where I have nothing on my body, understand this carefully. Right from the time I came with my bike, my footwear, my bag, my mobile, my clothes, and then the inner clothes. See, mobile has been with me all the time, but I don't take the mobile when I'm going for a shower. Do we do that? Now, I can cleanse my body in the most appropriate manner only if all my clothes which were on my body are removed, isn't it? Now, having the clothes on my body, will I be able to cleanse my body to the fullest? No. I will not go into the bathroom with my bike, my footwear or my mobile. Everything is placed in its right place. Bike in the parking lot, footwear in the shoe rack, my bag on the writing desk, my mobile on the mobile stand, my external clothes on the hanger, internal clothes, they go into the bucket for wash. Now, then I take a bath. When I do it in such a manner, then only I am able to cleanse my body in the most appropriate manner. In the same way, Lord Krishna tells us, for antar shuddhi, Now, till now it was external cleanliness. So for antar shuddhi, sparshan kritva bahirbahyan chakshush chaivantare bhruvoh. You says, unless or until you place all the things which are outside in its respective places, then only you can go inwards. Otherwise, you will not be able to go inwards. This is the very important aspect here. See the striking point here. Although we said it very easily, unless and until you place all the things which are outside in its respective places, then only you can go inwards. Otherwise, you will not be able to go inwards. Well said. But now, see what happens? One can keep his bike outside, but the thought of the bike is in your mind. I'll give another example. Let's say you purchased a new car, a high-end latest model of a Mercedes-Benz, let's say. Your entire family went to the showroom. You had booked the car earlier. They said you come at so and so time to take delivery. Then you had consulted your Panditji. Is this time okay? Then you rescheduled it. You went at that time. Your family is there, your spouse, your children, and a few very close friends are there with you. And there was a grand celebration at the showroom with so many flowers, bouquet on the car. Then they eventually gave you some chocolate boxes, and then you moved from the showroom. Now, you come home. You have parked the car in the parking lot, but the thought of the car stays in your mind. See, we should understand how our mind works. Then only we can correct situation. So the thought, what happened? Although I have come out of the car is parked there. I have come out, but the thought is still running in my mind. You come home, then you take a shower, and then you sit for your dinner. You're talking to your wife, your kids, your friends who had come along with you. They also are with you for the dinner. And then you start talking about that car again. Wow, what a nice engine. I have never driven such a car with such a smooth engine. Then you talk of the pickup, you talk of the gears, you talk about the latest features. Although the vastu, the object, is kept outside, but the object is still playing in your mind. You understand? Now where the trouble is? Every object with whom we are related in this world, even though a transaction with that person, object meaning it means also a person, object, person, event, everything, we are still thinking about it. This is the reason why we are not able to concentrate or focus our mind. How will we be able to focus if you have all the garbage in your mind? This garbage will keep springing thoughts one after the other. How can we get concentration when we have loaded our minds with my car, my business, my spouse, my children, my parents, my in-laws, my relatives, and then apart from that, my God, the country politics. Then you have cricket, you have got tennis, you have got football, you have got the scams, the international affairs, the WhatsApp news. All these issues, what will happen? They will not allow you to sit quietly. Each and every issue has got its own striking aspect, and it will keep showing up again and again. So Lord Krishna says, being in the world, one has to deal with the world. Of course, you have got no choice. What should I do then? Deal with your spouse and keep it aside. Deal with your children and keep it aside. Deal with your business or job, keep it aside. Deal with your relatives and keep it aside. The more you keep them in your mind, the more you will be in bondage. This is so important. What you have to do? First, observe your mind. And when the thought of something, be it your spouse, your child, your job, business, your relatives, when the second thought comes, you tell the thought, why are you coming again? I already discussed with you, right? See, this we do when we are dealing with people outside. अरे एक बार बोला तो समझ में नहीं आता है तुमको? How many times should I tell you? I've already told you once. Why are you again coming and asking me? See, we tell that, no? Tell that to your mind. Why are you bringing this thought to me again and again? Are you dumb? The way we express to others, tell your own mind, don't come to me on this again. I have already told you. That's it. So this way, we have to restrict the thought which comes. The more the thought comes and we start encouraging, see, understand, your mind, if we are listening to it, we become its slave. But if we train it, we become its master, and it is our friend. So now you first understand whether your mind is a slave or you are its master. Whether you are a slave to the mind or you are a master to the mind. That we need to understand and first correct the situation. And any thought which comes, make a note of it and say, I will attend to it. And attend to it diligently and tell the mind, this is for now, and let's see if there is a change in this scenario. I will revisit this point again, but don't come to me again and again. Once a Swamiji was telling, he met a devotee and he said, I'm fed up carrying my family, the burden of my family, he said. Swamiji asked, why? What happened? How many are there in your family? He says, I have my wife, I have my son, I have my daughter. Then he says, if you don't mind, what could be the weight of your wife? Somewhere around 58-60 kilos. Your son? Oh, that fellow is going to gym, he drinks a lot of milk, he takes a lot of protein. Should be about 70. And my daughter, she should be about 50. So you mean to say you are carrying 180 kilos? He asked the devotee. Swamiji, this devotee says, Swamiji, no. I am saying burden is in my head. He shows his head. What is the meaning of that? They are thoughts, they are words, whatever they have spoken, their actions, impossible to carry. I can with difficulty, maybe I can even carry 180 kilos, but not their thoughts, their actions, their words in my mind. So in the same way, Lord Krishna says, yes, as far as you keep thinking about a thought again and again, it keeps circling in your mind and it creates attachment and it creates pressure, which becomes unbearable after a point. See, we may be able to lift 50 kilos and keep it down. But to keep even 5 kilos for 10 minutes, impossible. What are we doing? All the thoughts we have kept in our mind. They are like a constant weight in our minds. So, what we have to do? Think about anything, keep it aside. Don't revisit it again. I know we are dealing in this world, so we have to deal with each and every aspect. But just like we are curt with the outside people when they ask for the second or the third time, in the same way we have to be curt with our mind. See, we have, as a Grahastha, we have got 8 things to take care, or we are associated in life. Atma, Jaya, Suta, Agara, Pashu, Dravina, Bandhu, Shurajye. Atma means body. Jaya means wife. Suta means children. Agara means house. Pashu means animals. Now you can Instead of Pashu, you can take your vehicles. You have a bike, you have a cycle, you have a car. Then next comes Dravina, money, in terms of your bank savings, in terms of your jewelry, and various other property. All that comes under Dravina. Then Bandhusha. Bandhusha means relatives. Rajye means your job or profession. Now, 8 things. What happened? 100 divided by 8 is 12.5%. Now, what is the difference between a Grahastha and a Sannyasi? A Grahastha has got all these 8 to take care of, whereas a Sannyasi has got only one thing to take care of, which is his Atma, body. Don't get mistaken by the word Atma. Atma at different places is used for a body, for a mind, and even for the soul. So depending on the situation, it is used in that way. So now what is the load we are bearing? 100%, whereas a sannyasi is bearing only 12.5%. Because the rest, he has got nothing to take care other than his body, isn't it? He has given up everything. He has got no wife, he has got no children, no house, no animals, meaning no vehicles, no money, no relatives, no job or profession. So a sannyasi has to take care of only his body, rest all he has given up. So we have to learn the art of detaching from every transaction and interaction, and never think of any incident unnecessarily. What happens is we do that excessive thinking. Why? Because we are not auditing our mind. What we need to do here is audit our mind constantly, like a mother is constantly looking at the child, what it's doing. I was speaking to a young mother today. Maybe her daughter is about 8-9 years old. She was telling, I don't allow my children to go and play with the kids outside. She rather says, you bring all your friends home, beta. I'll give them some nice cakes. I'll give them some nice things to eat. Now I asked, why? I want to keep a watch what they're talking. See, 8-9 years, they now are exposed to so many things. Now I want my daughter to be in the right company, listening to the right things, talking about the right aspects in life. So now, how a mother is so concerned about her child, in the same way, we have to be concerned about what our mind is doing. So we have to deal it with nirashihi, which we have learnt in the past, without craving for the results. Now this result keeps spinning your mind. See, these are all the techniques. There can be no greater psychological class than this. Do your duty to the utmost extent and then relax. I'll tell you a secret how to do this. When you have done your duty with this sense of devotion, every time before you do the duty, think of the Lord. While doing the duty, think of the Lord. I'm doing it for you. I'm doing it as a service for you. And then after you have done the duty, just offer it at the lotus feet of the Lord and forget it. Now what has happened is, when you have done your duty as a worship, forget about whatever result comes in practical life. You have done a great yagna. Imagine, it could be as simple as any job, going to the market and getting some fruits and vegetables, or cooking for the family, or taking the child to the school. Whatever job we are doing, just say I'm doing it as a service to the Lord. Then the result doesn't matter. Nirashihi. Now next is develop the mindset Kama sankalpa varjitaha. Be devoid of desires. See, when you have done the duty as worship, you are done. I have done worship all this time. I have done worship. So whatever comes is fine. So you are devoid of desires. These are the preparation for the mind. Understand? Everything has to be interrelated, not just saying, "Arey, I have to complete. What is this? So many weeks have gone and we are still in the same chapter." No. Every chapter, every shloka has got so much of depth. Unless and until we are able to connect with it, we will not achieve what we want to achieve. So Lord Krishna in the previous chapter, 4th chapter, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, he says, without gaining mastery over your mind, if you are going to sit for meditation, you will be creating havoc. Gain that antarmukha, otherwise it will be a disaster. A step-by-step approach is very much required. Firstly, chitta shuddhi by karma yoga. Then chitta ekagrata by upasana. Guru anusandhana, approach a guru and start shravana, listening to the scriptures. Manana, churn that scriptures in your mind. Let the doubts emerge. Clarify the doubts. Once you have got the right understanding, till then you keep churning. Just like we churn milk till we get butter, buttermilk till we get butter, in the same way, keep churning. And then once you have clarified all your doubts, sit for that nididhyasana. That is what nididhyasana we are talking about, which is meditation over here. So what you're doing, you're going to rewire all the wrong neural paths which are there in your brain. All the corrections. I am this body. I am a father to so-and-so. I am a mother to so-and-so. I am a daughter of so-and-so. I am a bahu of so-and-so. I am a friend of so-and-so. All these are external connections which are not your true self. So, you are talking of that true self, which we are going to understand in the next chapters. So I'll take you in the right sequence, nothing to worry. So for that, the initial steps of practice are essential to achieve. So a ship on water sails through, but imagine water in the ship. It sinks the ship. So one can be in samsara, but samsara should not enter into us. That is where we get entangled. So, as we studied, sparshan kritva bahir bahyan chakshush chaivantare bhruvoho. Now here the mind has unique powers of manifestation. If done with that conviction and power, many a times wonders happen. Now we are going to learn about this. How one can manifest divinity with just a 4-second, not minutes, 4-second meditation. When we come to the next chapter, I'll teach you that technique. So what we are going to do, instead of saying I'm going to do 10 minutes meditation, 20 minutes meditation, don't even try to attempt it. We will start with 4 seconds. Manaha, buddhi, chitta, ahankara. The mind rotates between all these 4 in a matter of 1 second each. From the mind, intellect to memory to ahambhava, ahankara. It goes on in 1 second. So if you are able to do 3 rounds of 4 seconds each, which is 12 seconds. Let's start with 1 round of 4 seconds. And what to do, how to do, what to manifest, that is the secret over here, which we are going to discuss. And you can do it anywhere for that matter, because 4 seconds you are going in a lift. Just close your eyes and 4 seconds, what has to be visualized? I will teach you that technique. Be there. Immediately you will see that you attain bliss in that time. Now the more number of times you do this, what happens? Imagine 4 seconds, you can easily do 25 times. Now 25 into 4. What happens? 100 seconds means you have done to close to 2 minutes of powerful meditation. Now that way, now that 10 times, 20 times what you were thinking, now increase it to 40 times, 50 times, 100 times. You will always be established in that power. So, likewise, what we have to do. Now, there are some other great techniques are, you have calmed your body, you're sitting in one place, so your body is not in any movement. Now you bring all the senses under your control. When you bring your senses under control, what happens? That is the next level. We are endowed with one unique power known as Antakarana. Only the humans and devatas have got this power. Understand this. So, we have to make use of that Antakarana for what? For self-realization. There is nothing other than Antakarana which can take you to self-realization. I'll just give you a brief idea. Like for example, the sense of touch which is given by the skin is there only in plants. That is the first. They have only one sense. Then you have skin plus tongue, which is touch and taste. That is there in snails, in the slugs, in the clams. Then the third level is you have the skin, the tongue and a nose. So along with touch, taste, smell, you have got ants. All the entire kingdom of ants. Then the fourth variety which has got 4 senses is the skin, the touch, the nose. Next comes the eyes. Ants do not have eyes. You have the bees, the various flies like dragonflies and all that kingdom of bees and flies. Then comes the last one which has got all the 5 senses, the sight, touch, nose, ear, eyes, and last is the ear, animals and birds. Now apart from this 5 senses, we have Antakarana, which is the humans and the devatas. So having this unique power, so that process of going antarmukha, what happens? Pranapano samo kritva nasabhyantara charino. One who has controlled his mind from both the prakriti, that is the natural attractions of the world, and vikriti, which are the deformities of the mind, such as the raga, dvesha, shadripu and all that. To such a person antakarana shuddhi happens within. His intent for liberation becomes extremely strong. He overcomes desire. He overcomes fear. He overcomes anger. And he crosses over ignorance. See, these are the methods. So we have to be very careful to understand what is the situation of our mind from time to time. Now there are 4 types of Mumukshattvam. The intense desire to reach God. One is that Tivra. Tivra means burning desire. What is the meaning of burning desire? I want to attain God in this life alone. No, I'm not going to think, okay, let me live another life. I'll try to attain the next life. Or after another 2 lives, 3 lives. No. The intense desire, this life alone I need liberation, is Tivra. Now for such a Tivra Mumukshu, they say that he gets liberated in this life alone. So we have to now, why I'm telling you this is, now you see where you are, in which category you belong, so that you will get to understand what is your state of liberation. The next one comes as Madhyama. Madhyama are like pendulum. They go this way, they go this way. Both ways, as you have seen a pendulum going. Sometimes they go towards the world, and then again they come back into spirituality. Then again they go into the world, then again they come back. For them, the Lord is still kind. He says they'll take at least 3 janmas ahead. But no guarantee again, because during that next janma, the computation of your karma decides, and you may be thrown out of the human species, The third variety comes from Manda, Mumukshattvam. He says, I'm still young. I'm what? I'm hardly 50, 55. Let me get retired. Or let my children get married. And then after they get married, they'll have children. So you'll have to take care of that. Never think that, you go on postponing that after this. It's not going to happen. Did we ever say, let me take a bath after I retire? Or let me eat after I retire? No. You say whatever is your situation, you'll hurriedly take a bath. You'll hurriedly grab a breakfast and you'll run for whatever you need to do in your life. So if somebody says later, then they say at the end of this yuga, which is what? Again, lakhs and lakhs and lakhs of years. And Ati Manda is who will say, I'm not bothered here. What has to happen will happen. Maje se roho. Yes, who knows one life, enjoy. Ati Manda. Then for them there is no chance at all. They will have to get back into the cycle again. So this is the state of Mumukshattva. So now whenever our mind says, let me enjoy a little worldliness and come back, you're going into the next Madhyama category. Don't. Having made your mind to be here, be in the world, but with your mind set on God. Wherever you are, you can always keep your mind on God. That is the beauty of this Adhyatmikata. Be wherever, you may even go to a club. Keep your mind on God. I'm not saying that you go to a club, but whatever situation happens, you are in the midst of worldliness, keep your mind on God. Now, what will be the state of mind of such a person who has established himself on Paramatma? That comes in the next verse, which is 29. Come, let's take it up. We'll try to finish this. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Bhoktaram Yagnatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suhridam Sarvabhutanam Jnatva Mam Shanti Mruchati. Here this comes to the end of the 5th chapter. Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvadhe Karma Sanyasa Yogo Nama Panchamodhyayaha. So here the Lord says, Hey Arjuna, my devotee, who has made a firm resolve to reach me. Finally, person who has made such a resolve, what he attains immediately is peace. Because he knows what is my true nature. Not what, he tells Arjuna, not what you have known me as, I was born to Devaki in the jail, then I crossed the Yamuna river, I was brought up by Yashoda, I played in Gokul with my cowherd friends, the gopis, and then I killed Kamsa, I became a king of Dwarka, then I was clad in the finest of silks with exquisite jewelry, I married 8 wives. This is not my true nature. This is only my attribute, which is known as a Guna Lakshana. My characteristic form in a human nature. My true nature is, here he talks about this particular verse. He says, what I see is, here, Like Arjuna, he asks him, should I give up karma? No. Doing karma with dedication to me cleans up your antakarana. Antakarana, go antarmukha, attain peace. That is the answer. He says, my avatars are only to, I have come with a purpose. But I am that which is Ananta, Nirmala, Nirguna, Nirakara. So, you start going Antarmukha and you will attain peace. Your karma is Paramatma. See Paramatma in every action, in every karma. See Paramatma in every creature, in every person you come across. So when you see God in your, say, in your spouse, and you interact with him or her, that interaction becomes divine and a worship. Just now, as I mentioned to you, the moment you see you're doing a particular act, you're preparing for a particular interview, you may be selected or you may not be selected. But the process of preparing for the interview was a great act of devotion, a yajna, where you have earned so much of punya which is already credited to your account. So what you get from the result of that action is immaterial. So when you see your child make that interaction, you see Lord in the child, it becomes divine and worship. Now this has to be practiced because we have never done this. Now we have got this technique. So when you can see God in your fellow being, you're talking to somebody, and then we say, she unnecessarily she chewed my brain here for half an hour. I didn't want to listen, I didn't want to talk, but she went on talking, he went on talking. I tried to intervene, but I never got a chance. Just visualize divinity there, that see God in that person. It becomes that blissful half an hour of worship and devotion. When you see a stranger, see God in that stranger, it becomes worship and devotion. So just as we see God in a statue, in a photo, and we pray to it, here you are seeing a person, a living person in front of you. See that divinity within. Understand, don't look at the attributes of the person. Just as Lord said, whatever you saw me from the time I was born in the jail till I became a king in Dwarka, don't see that. See my true nature in the true sense. So same way when we see God in a person and interact, that too becomes a worship, and it elevates us to greater and greater heights. So we'll see more of this. Now this was, as I told you, a preface to the 6th chapter. Now we'll start a revision from the next discourses. Maybe it may go on for about at least 3 or 4 sessions only for revision. I'll try to interweave all the shlokas together and bring in more sense to have a clear understanding. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Idam Namah. I hope there was not much of disturbance. This session you were able to hear clearly. Okay, come. We may not be able to do meditation today. We'll listen to the Divya Nama. Dharmaha. Verse number 43. Yeah. Ramo viramo virajo margo neyo nayo nayaha veerashaktimatam shreshtaha dharmo dharma viduttamaha. Dharmaha. 403. This term is used in Hinduism with thousands of different shades. That to the early student, the meaning of this term is lost in confusion. So dharma of a, excuse me, one second. Yeah. So dharma of a thing is that because of which the thing is, without which the thing is not. So this term dharma has therefore been translated as the law of being. So dharma of the sun is light. The dharma of the fire is heat. The dharma of sugar is sweetness. So what then is the dharma of the individual? That's a question which automatically comes to our mind. So the essential dharma of the individual can only be the self. Self means the Paramatma, because without which the individual cannot exist. And the individual's expressions, physical, mental, intellectual, are all expressions of the self through the equipment in him. Thus, dharma means the one self or Paramatma in all individuals. So this essential dharma is anything is that which supports the things, and therefore the self, which is the essence everywhere, is considered as the very one which supports everything. Dharayati iti dharmaha, as said in Kathopanishad, which means dharayati, the one which supports everything. So this Paramatma itself is our dharma, understand? Just like sweetness is to sugar, heat is to fire. So in the same way, Paramatma is the dharma of a human being. To such a divine Paramatma, who is the dharma in us, we offer our humble salutation, seek his grace, mercy and blessings. Let's chant the Dhanvantari mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrita Kalashastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashahastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. We offer our humble salutations to Lord Dhanvantari to give us the requisite amount of health to achieve God realization. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Together we offer today's Gita Jnana Yajna at the lotus feet of the Lord to seek His humble grace, love, and protection. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Idam Namama. Om Tat Sat.